talk video to share with you guys, and today we're going to be talking about The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. Now you guys, I went into this book fully ready to love it. It contains so many elements of things that I love, but for whatever reason this one just didn't do it for me, and it left me with so many questions. Now to give you an idea of what this book is about, I don't even know where to begin. So first of all, we have this lady named Elin. She used to be a detective, but she's currently on extended leave for PTSD. She's going up to this hotel. Currently it's a luxury hotel, but it used to be a tuberculosis sanatorium. So she's going up there for the weekend because her brother Isaac is having an engagement party. His fiance works at the hotel, and they've decided to have it there. So it's up in the mountains in, I think, Switzerland. And Elin's from the UK, so she's going over to spend, I guess, the weekend there. It's winter time. Once she gets there, the weather turns really bad, really bad. Snowstorm, everyone's snowed in. So right off the bat, it's giving me One by One by Ruth Ware vibes. I read that book a few months ago, and the sort of setup is exactly the same, only instead of it's not a tuberculosis sanatorium, but it's a group of people who are stranded in a hotel up in the snowy mountains. Now, I know that's whatever. There are tons of books with that same sort of premise, but I just read Ruth's so recently that it's like, again, we're doing this again, which is not Sarah's fault. I mean, these books came out so closely. How are you to know? Like, I'm not saying that's the author's fault at all, but it's, for me personally, I was just like, I just read this story. So, and I don't know. This book was not poorly written. Like, it's well written. It just wasn't the book for me. So anyway, first off, before we meet Elin and her brother Isaac, there's a murder. First thing, as soon as the book starts, there's a murder. And it's a man who was involved in changing the sanatorium over to a hotel. We really get the feeling that the locals aren't happy about this. And, like, somebody's not happy about this. Somebody doesn't want the history meddled with, the history, you know, fooled around with. They want everything left as it is. And it takes off from there, and people start showing up dead, and then it's kind of a whodunit. We're waiting to figure out who's doing this, who's killing all these people, and what's their reasoning. So, I mean, if that sounds like something you would like, definitely check it out. Like, I mean, I looked on Goodreads after I was done. It's got like a 3.4 overall rating. So some people liked it, obviously. Like I said, I was left with a lot of unanswered questions and just a lot of confusion. And when you get to the end, you're like, oh, okay. Like, I was expecting something really exciting, something really fun, like some big reveal, and I was just kind of left like, okay. I don't want any spoilers. Now's the time to click away. I'm not going to go piece by piece through the book like I sometimes do, but I am going to tell you what some of my questions and confusions were. So especially if you've also read this, maybe you can commiserate, or maybe you can be like, girl, that was obvious. I don't know why you're confused. So let's just get on into some of that. So one of the main points of contention between Elin and her brother Isaac, because at first we know that the reason Elin's on PTSD leave from the police force is that many years ago, when they were children, their young brother died. And in Elin's mind, they're all at the beach. Her and Sam, that's the brother that dies, and Isaac. They're all at the beach together, and she wanders off, and then Isaac doesn't keep a good enough eye on the brother, and he dies. And then also in her memory, she's warped it so that she thinks that Isaac had something to do with it. At a later point in the book, so this has created years of tension between her and her brother. And I don't understand why now she's on PTSD leave. I don't know if I missed something and there's another reason why she's on leave. But like that happened when she was a child. So I know she had to take care of her dying mother. So maybe that's why she's on leave. I do not know. Halfway through the book, we find out that her memories are wrong. And it was actually her that was with the brother that got pushed. And not Isaac. So that then led me to believe that this was going to somehow play into the plot of the story. And that maybe we were going to find out that because her memories are so bad, she was the killer. And she didn't remember it. And so she's hunting for this killer, but she is her. And I was like, that'd be kind of fun. But it was not that. Then we also, like, Ellen's just a really bad detective. I was like, oh, this would be fun. Like, so she's up there. She doesn't have any jurisdiction in Switzerland. Plus, she's on leave back in the UK, but she kind of puts herself in detective role to figure out what's going on. Only problem is she's the world's worst detective. Everything she guesses is wrong. And I'm getting that, you know, it has to be that way for the story to continue. But instead of it feeling like, oh, here the story's developing, it feels more like, oh, she's really bad at her job. So there was that. Plus there were so many like false starts of whodunit, and we're like, okay, and then it wasn't that by the time we finally got to who was the killer, not only did it not really make much sense to me, I didn't give a crap. So I try not to do book talks on books that I didn't like, but I just felt like we should talk about this one because I don't like saying mean things about something. Like Sarah Pearse, she did the thing. She sat down, she wrote this book. It got published. People love it. So I'm not, I don't want to sound too harsh, but it's like, I just didn't care. So who it ends up being is one of the other builders of this sanatorium turned hotel. His name is Lucas, and he's at the hotel with them this weekend, along with his sister. And so for a while we think maybe it's him, and then as the story's going through, there are other people we think it is, but they turn up dead. So in the end, it turned out to be Lucas, the builder that's at the hotel with them this weekend, his sister who works at the hotel. And she started off with the other guy from the beginning because back when they were teenagers, he sexually assaulted her. And Lucas didn't care, her brother, so now it's this whole thing, this revenge thing. And it's like by the time I was nearing the end of the book, I was just like skimming through the chapters because I could not care. And then when we got to that reveal, I was very disappointed. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I thought it had a lot of really great potential because I love books that take place in spooky buildings. I was also kind of wondering if there was going to be any sort of supernatural coming into play because it is an old tuberculosis sanatorium. I was like, well, there's got to be some ghosts there. That's ripe for ghosts. So many people died there. As we learn throughout the book, there's some history of some really disturbing experimental treatments happening on these patients. Surely that was going to lend itself to some very unhappy ghosts, but that never happened. Anyway, you guys, like it says here too, an absolutely splendid gothic thriller. I feel like the term gothic thriller is being thrown around very loosely these days because this was certainly not a gothic thriller. So there you go, you guys. This is kind of my rant review for the sanatorium. But again, I mean, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not going to be for you. This might be your favorite book, you know? It's hard to say. But for me, this just didn't do it for me. And if you want to read a book about a group of people snowed in up in the mountains at a hotel, I would suggest checking out One by One by Ruth Ware. I enjoyed that one more than this one, but again, this is one of those Reese's Book Club books too that Reese Witherspoon does, so I mean, she liked it obviously. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you again real soon. Bye.